Good morning, everyone. This is Dariusz Wylon again. This time, I will tell you some insights about how to improve the performance. So we'll talk about giving and receiving feedback. I will tell about three things. At first, I will provide some general insights about what the constructive feedback is. Secondly, I will tell about the tool we are using here in CONSTRUCTIVE. This is the feedback graph 3.0 management tool for providing feedback. And finally, I will provide some general insights on how to give and receive feedback. For me, there is no such thing as a negative or a positive feedback. Generally, what we do, we should provide a constructive feedback, which is based on four elements. There should be the content we are corresponding to, the manner, so the way we are providing it in terms of the body language, the tone of our voice and things like that. Then the proper timing, so when we should do this. And finally, the frequency. Sometimes if you conduct at your company a survey about how often do you receive feedback, some people can say, maybe not too often. So we'll talk about this issue as well. In terms of the content, we should be specific. So focus on a given task, the part of the code, or a given skill. I remember when I was starting my career as a basketball player in a primary school, my coach always was saying something like this: "Well done, son," or "You have to improve." But I never know what was good or what was bad. So what should I improve? Now in our professional development, we have to remember about it. Next thing is the manner. So how we should provide the feedback to someone else. We have to be direct, use a lot of I messages, and show that it's something which is important for us. What about the timing? It always depends. It could be as soon as possible. Sometimes we need to do it real fast. But what about when the emotions are really high and we are a little bit nervous or even pissed off? We can then use the approach as soon as reasonable. So when we feel that our emotions are on the proper level, we can move back to the topic, go to the person, and provide that feedback. What about the frequency? So generally, we should do it on the ongoing basis. Here in CONSTRUCTIVE, once a month we have something that we call 360-degree feedback. You can read a blog article about it, but also never forget to provide the feedback on a daily basis. So there is no need to wait for something that's important. Just go to the person. And for me, you even don't have to start with, I would like to give you the feedback. Just go to the person and provide your remarks. What is the tool recommended by Management 3.0 approach? The feedback graph. It's really beneficial both in the face-to-face communication, but also when you are sending some information through email or using any other channel of communication. It consists of 5 elements. At first, you are describing your context, so what was in your mind or what was the situation when you are thinking about the feedback. Then you provide some list of the observations, so what you have noticed. Another step is providing some insights about your feelings and emotions. Then you move to the value, so why it's important. And finally, you offer suggestions. So we have 5 steps in this approach. We start from the context. If we cannot use this as soon as reasonable approach, so we are full of emotions, but there is a need to provide feedback because you are doing something on the project and there was some critical back, you are saying, okay, I'm giving you this feedback, but you know I'm extremely nervous, and probably if we'll be talking about it tomorrow, it would sound a little bit different, but or when I'm doing this, I'm sitting somewhere and I'm thinking about the movie I watched yesterday, so my feedback is like this. Probably from your experience, you know that the situation you are in influence the way you are providing the communication. When you have the context set, you can move to some observations. We are focusing on the facts, figures, on the experience. We are not talking personally, but we are looking for some, as I mentioned, facts and figures, so something which can be seen by various people more or less in the same way. After that, you go to your feelings, and we can be emotional a little bit, at least in this part. How do I feel with it? I believe that you are doing it in the proper way, so the project will be responsive, and the client was awaiting for this, and he probably didn't get what he wanted, or is it positive? It was really awesome. This piece of code you put there, and I felt really proud of you, something like this. Finally, why it's important? We are showing the value of the solution, of the piece of the project we are talking about. And as usual, at the end, you are providing the suggestions. So what the person can do to improve the performance. So 5 steps to go through while providing the feedback. And finally, what are the other elements which can be used while we are thinking about giving and receiving feedback? We now know the general approach as what constructive feedback is. We have the tool, the feedback graph. But probably you also know one of the most popular tools used around the globe for providing feedback. It's a feedback sandwich. You provide something good, then something bad, and something good. Remember, so managers, leaders, mentors, scrum masters, all people never deal with that feedback sandwich. It's probably really it's a stupid thing. So you have to think about something good, something bad, and people expect that if you want to provide some negative information, you will make up something which is positive. If we are professionals, we just provide either positive or negative things. We are just doing the constructive approach. What to do with our behavior? Because I was talking about being on time or having some kind of the body language, communication structure, and things like that. The easy way to remember what to do is the right way. So at first you have to be respectful, show your respect, show that you trust the other person, that you have some kind of emotional feeling or the empathy toward the given person. Then focus on the issue, so be specific. Think about focusing on the goal, so be goal-oriented. So while you are providing this feedback, it's also important to take the perspective of the other person. So the feedback should be helpful, not just for you, but for the project or for the person. Especially if you are mentors, we have to think about the feedback which can help our mentee to grow, to boost their performance, not to make our life easier. And finally, this tiny thing would be on time. Sometimes it's like we are lacking of time. The speedway is the EEC model. You focus on the evidence, so the real issue, talking this piece of code or the pull request, whatever. Then you talk about the effect, how it influenced the project, the scope, or any other thing you are dealing with. And then you talk about that you have to change, or you congratulate the person. So this is probably the fastest way of providing the feedback, but we have to take under considerations things connected with the language, the way we are talking, the words we are using. But what we should do when we are receiving feedback? There is another model called PAC. At first we have to be patient and have some kind of a pause in our voice to wait for someone to provide it. Then it's reasonable to ask at least one question about the feedback to find some kind of clarification. Then you are looking for confirmation. Do I really understand what was this feedback about? And after these 3 steps, you can provide some comments, or together you can look for some ways how you can improve. Thank you very much. That's all.